Good morning to you, and thanks for joining us here on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Alicia Lewis alongside Jason Hackett on the Friday Junior. We are getting close to Friday, but this weekend, I know there's St. Patty's Day celebrations going underway, and it might be impacted by the weather.
Yeah, you're going to pay attention to John's forecast here because we are issuing a KARE 11 weather impact alert day for tomorrow, John.
Yes. Today and tomorrow look amazing, though. Get outside, ride your bike, just do whatever. My kids were rollerblading yesterday, and then we'll pack it in for a couple of days, and we'll get back out there by St. Patty's Day, back in the 50s. It's just such a wild ride this time of the year. I do love it. I mean, the forecaster in me, this is Disneyland when it comes to forecasting. So we have temperatures hanging around 30, 38 here in the metro. We're going to rapidly warm today, especially once we kick in the winds. The winds are pretty light right now. Once the winds get initiated, the temperatures are going to take off. But it does take a little longer. And maybe you noticed that. It takes until around noon to get warm since we obviously sprung forward. We pushed the warmth here into the afternoon. Because you can see here at 11, still 49. So the pop comes at noon instead of 11, which it did earlier. So the afternoon looks great, 64, 65 degrees. Enjoy it. Cloudy skies in the afternoon, but we'll get some sunshine to kick off your day here. 70s to the southwest, still in the 40s to the north. The reason for that, you guessed it, snowpack. If not that you were playing along at home and raise your hand or something, that would be embarrassing, right? 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. Friday night, if you have plans before 7 p.m., it would be fine. I'd keep my plans. After 7 p.m., we got to get ready for the impacts. The impacts start off with thunderstorms Friday night and then turn over to blowing snow. Is this not the most Minnesota thing you've ever seen right there? Yeah, we got an impact for storms and snow. All right. Temperatures will drop 50 degrees, and we could have a 50-mile-per-hour wind accompanying this whole thing, and it's going to be so messy. So my next forecast, we're gonna take the ins and outs and take a deep dive into the forecast of all of this impact coming up here in a little bit. How do the roads look this morning, Cece?
Good morning. A little slower down south metro. Good morning to you. About 30 minutes ago, I brought up a crash down in Lakeville. 35 northbound right at Kenwood Trail. So the crash is cleared, but there's still a backup really stretching all the way back to 195th Street here. So I'd add at least 15 extra minutes to your commute if you're trying to make it up to the Burnsville split, 35W, 35E. I'll keep my eye on if things get better though as we inch towards 9 o'clock. Otherwise, backups not really causing too many issues around the metro. We're seeing things improve, especially on 494, 394. I'll be talking about construction though, and even have some drive times for you over the course of this next 30 minutes.
All right, Cece, thank you very much. We'll check in with you soon. Overnight, major coaching changes announced while you were sleeping by the University of Minnesota.
That's right. Just hours ago, Director of Athletics there announced that they fired their men's basketball coach, Ben Johnson, after 4 years on the job. Michelle Beck has what we know right now.
It's been a whirlwind of a night. First, the Gophers losing to Northwestern, then coming home to lose their coach. Around midnight, Johnson learned he'd be leaving the team. That's according to athletic director Mark Coyle, who said he met with the coach as soon as the Gophers returned to Minneapolis. They just lost their spot in the Big Ten tournament. Coyle said this: "I thanked him for his dedication and for guiding the program, one he cares deeply about." The record shows, though, Johnson had one winning season in his 4 years as coach. In his very last press conference leading the team, he still had plans for Minnesota's future.
Hopefully there's a chance, if we can, make something here postseason wise to get these guys, especially the seniors, an opportunity to end on a better note. That's probably goal number one because I know they want to play. And the second piece is, we obviously got to attack the portal.
Minnesota's wasting no time looking for their next head coach. They say they are doing a nationwide search. We do expect to get more details in the next 24 hours, roughly, when Mark Coyle hosts a news conference. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Right now, a Minnesota college student is on officials' radar as they desperately search for a University of Pittsburgh student who went missing on spring break in the Dominican Republic. American law enforcement is calling St. Cloud State student Joshua Reby a person of interest, but emphasizing that does not mean he's a suspect. Jennifer Hoff joins us from St. Cloud with the latest on the case.
This story starts last week on March 3rd when 20-year-old Sudiksha Kanaki arrives at a resort in the Dominican Republic with several friends. The University of Pittsburgh biology student is from Loudoun County, Virginia. But 3 days later is the last time authorities say she's caught on surveillance video alone with 22-year-old Josh Reeby after her friends had already returned from the beach. Now, a week later, Kanaki's father is desperate for answers.
They're not able to find my daughter. They did multiple times using helicopters, drones, and scuba diving.
The Dominican National Police and the FBI are focusing on the water, saying they did find Kanaki's clothes on the beach, but no signs of foul play. The local sheriff's office in Virginia says Reeby is the last person to see Kanaki alive. Writing in a statement, he's a person of interest, not a suspect, in a case that's not a criminal investigation either, rather that of a missing person at this point.
Today I'm joined by Josh Reeby. Reeby, thanks for joining me.
KARE 11 confirmed Reeby was a high school wrestler from Iowa and in a 2021 social media post praised for being a role model. St. Cloud State University also says he's currently a student majoring in land surveying and mapping sciences. Kanaki's family now on the Caribbean island, asking authorities to expand their investigation.
This could be an abduction or kidnapping because not in the water, not anywhere. Then where is she?
Well, time now 8:37. While you were sleeping, new retaliatory tariffs from Canada on U.S. goods went into effect. This comes one day after President Trump's 25% tariff on imported steel and aluminum. Senator Amy Klobuchar estimates tariffs will raise prices for the average American family by more than $2,000 per year, adding that Canada is Minnesota's largest trading partner and the tariffs jeopardize important partnerships with our neighbors.
Targeted tariffs that make some sense, yes, but these do not make any sense, especially for states like Minnesota.
Now, happening today in Canada, G7 leaders are meeting to discuss tariffs and Trump's shift on foreign policy. Well, this morning we are less than 48 hours away from a potential government shutdown, but Congress isn't any closer to passing a funding bill to prevent that from happening. Earlier this week, the House passed a continuing resolution from Republicans, but it doesn't have support from Senate Democrats. Meanwhile, Republicans say they will not support the Democrats' stopgap plan, which would fund the government for another month. Another problem here, the House is on recess until March 24th, which means it would be difficult to pass an alternative spending plan before the deadline.
We have a developing story out of the state capitol this morning. In just a few hours, the Senate GOP is planning to file new evidence in an ethics complaint against embattled DFL Senator Nicole Mitchell. She's charged with felony burglary, accused of breaking into her stepmom's home last year. Republicans say she's tarnished the Senate, while Democrats are saying she deserves due process. The ethics complaint was filed last month, followed by a motion to oust her, which failed to advance.
This morning, the Wolves are riding a 6-game winning streak after a late-night win against the Denver Nuggets. The stars of the night, Julius Randle with 25 points and Ant-Man Anthony Edwards with 29. So closing out the show in the fourth, Randle taking the lead to 20 with a wide-open three. And then watch this, a long three miss from Reed, but the Wolves get a second chance. And Ant right there in the corner draining that one. Final score here, 115-95. Big win on the road against the Nuggets. And to celebrate here, Chick-fil-A is giving out free nuggets today at the locations in the Twin Cities and St. Cloud. You just need the Chick-fil-A app to score the deal. So open your Chick-fil-A app, refresh, and you should be able to see it there.
You helped me with this yesterday.
Walk you through it.
I did an update on my app
and then
turn on location because they don't know where you live, and it's only in St. Cloud and the Twin Cities.
She needed a lot
of help. I got my nugs.
A lot of help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you share. The Wolves' next 5 games are at home, starting tomorrow night against the Magic.
Then on Sunday, you can watch the Wolves on KARE 11 3 days from now. Right here, jam-packed action. It's going to be great. Tip-off against Utah Jazz. This one's earlier, 6 p.m. start time. Pretty cool. All right, crews are putting finishing touches on the Northwest Sports Show this morning as we all are dreaming of summertime. Look at that beautiful fish. The big show kicks off today at the Minneapolis Convention Center at 1 and features all the new cool things for the great outdoors. Tickets are $15 and the show runs through Sunday.
Oh, pontoon boats. I can just see myself on a pontoon. Just sipping a cold one, just cruising through the lake.
That is my life. Don't say that. That is
what
all
kind
I
of
want.
fish was that again, John?
We call it tulibies. You don't want to catch those things. They're random to catch. Most of the time you're catching what you want to, which is like crappies or walleye. Those sneak on the line. They're called whitefish, smoked whitefish. They get a lot of those in northern Minnesota. Anyways, yeah, I love fish. I'll probably go to that. All right, so the weather impact alert is for 7 p.m. Friday, not today. Enjoy today. Today's great. If you're just catching the end of the show, today's perfect. Enjoy it. 65. But the impacts coming in here Friday night are crazy. Thunderstorms and then blowing snow, especially west of us for blowing snow. 50-mile-per-hour winds with a 50-degree temperature drop. Yikes. It all comes from this low in California. Look at all that moisture coming in here. You can imagine this moisture, it doesn't go anywhere. Because if you think about it, all the rain for the whole country, where does the rain come from? An ocean. So once the moisture comes on shore, it's going to cross the whole country and everybody's going to get a chance at it. And you can see the wind advisories and high wind watch, they're all out for this very strong low pressure center. There it is, Friday. We'll track it coming in from the south. At this point, the warm front is to our south. This is going to be more of a tornado outbreak situation, unfortunately, down there from St. Louis. You're going to hear a lot about St. Louis up to Cedar Rapids. That area is going to be in the bullseye for that peak heating. By the time we get it, it's too late. 10, 11, 12. When I say too late, I mean for tornado outbreak. I never want that. But we're going to have rain. We'll have some rumbles of thunder. And then we'll get behind the low. This is going to come Saturday morning. We'll probably see some slush in the morning and then a little snow. But the heavy snow bands clearly want to stay up towards Bemidji. The Bemidji area's got the best chance for this. Then it slides off to the north. Areas in Bemidji could actually pick up over 6 when you go from Bemidji to Moorhead. That's kind of the bullseye. 71 Friday. We're dry through 6. Then we crash through Saturday. Now, I had a lot of confusion on that 48-48. What that means Saturday. At 6 a.m., the temperature will be 48. That's when we track our low for that day, not at night. It's in the morning. And it'll be the same temperature. That means there is no high, really. Falls all day, will be falling throughout the afternoon. So bundle up Saturday into Sunday morning.
All right, one more project to talk about that starts this morning at 9 o'clock. Highway 101 in both directions, going down to one lane between Christie Lane and Curvers Point Road. That's in the Eden Prairie, Chanhassen area. So it could be slow go, but only for about an hour. So keep that in mind as you head toward Highway 7, Highway 5.
Cece, thank you. If you participate in Lent, then tomorrow is your second Meatless Friday of the season.
That's right. Well, luckily here in Minnesota, we are prepared. When we come back, Smack Shack is in the house. They have a fish fry. It smells so good in here. Care in the Kitchen is coming up next. I'm hungry.
I'm beyond hungry.
Welcome back to Care in the Kitchen right here on Care 11 Plus. So this week is the first full week of Lent, and even if you don't participate, it's a great time to get out there on a Friday night and get a good fish fry. We've got the owner of Smack Shack, Chef Josh Thoma, in the house. Welcome back.
Thanks
I love when you come here.
Thanks. I love being here.
We always are up to like wild things. You bring such the spread, and it's always a good time. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
All right, this is your first time with Chef Thoma
Yes,
on.
it is.
Yes.
Yes.
What are we making today?
Today we're going to make two different fried fish, like fish fries, basically.
Okay.
So to start, the first one we're going to do is the Alaskan wild caught cod. So this is true Pacific cod. It's not like black cod or Atlantic cod. This is my preference for cod. So one of the tricks that we use to get started is I make sure it's nice and dry to start. It's going to pick up that batter and it's going to stay crispy better that way. So I've got a little paper towel under here.
You don't like
We've got
pre-salt it or anything?
Nope,
Okay.
it's ready to go just like this. We'll salt it when it comes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our tempura batter.
What's the batter made from?
So the batter is just a classic tempura. So it's rice flour, and then instead of we use Summit EPA, which we like a little bit better. So sometimes people get a little bit freaked out about like, oh, fried fish is bad for you. It actually has less oil than if you were to pan fry it. And the reason is that while it's submerged in that oil, you're getting the steam coming out of the fish, so the oil really isn't going into the fish, whereas pan frying it, you do. Another great trick here
greasy,
that you're looking at is that my oil is at about 375 to start, and now I'm gonna crank this up because I've got 3 pieces of fish in there. Just get it going a little bit more, and then while those cook, we can talk about some other stuff. So
I love it.
we've got kind of our 4 Lent specials here, 2 of which are already done over here. We've got our whole red snapper from Florida.
That's
with
what
some
you get when you order it? You're like, I'll get that.
That's what you get.
Oh,
You
okay.
get
That's
with,
what they bring to your table.
That's what they bring
That's
to
a
your table.
shareable, I would
So
say.
I don't know if that's
right.
shareable for me.
So those are lettuce wraps, and they're really great to share. So 2 people could easily have that dish, and you kind of on there you've got some pickled vegetables, some rice, and then some kimchi, and the sauce, that samjang sauce, on the fish isn't too spicy, but it has a little bit of a kick.
Okay, prepare the Minnesotans.
Prepare, like just let's like, you know, sometimes salt can be spicy for Minnesotans. The next dish that we're doing is the fidea. So that's that short pasta, and in that we add a little bit of squid ink. We've got obviously the broiled lobster tail, the jumbo shrimp, and then our tomato vodka sauce goes on that as well.
Okay.
So with squid ink, I know it adds that black color. What taste does it add? Like,
I've always
what
been
is
curious
the?
about that.
It adds a little bit of seafood taste to it.
Okay.
And the great thing is it makes your teeth really black, so you can make fun of your.
Maybe not a date night choice.
Yes,
It's
that's
your
right,
first date or
Or
something.
scare your kids
that's
at
right.
dinner. Yeah.
That's right. Or you convince your buddy to do it.
Cece and John are on standby, just like, what is happening?
Yeah,
They're excited though.
They're just waiting for
So,
the food.
one way
Hi.
the easy way to tell if your fish is done is you cook it to about 145. So people always want to know, like, how can I tell, like, if it's done, especially on a bigger piece of fish like this. So I just got my instant read thermometer, and I'll go in, and we're about 79. So we got a little ways to go.
You don't go based
Although-
off the browning and the
No,
coloring.
so and especially on a bigger piece of fish like this, it's really nice to be able to use one of those. And while this is still cooking, we'll talk about our next dish. So these are very different types of fish. You can see this is Lake Superior perch. So we've got
I
these
love
small
perch.
little perch fillets. And while these are frying, I'm gonna just get this battered up. So the way that this is kind of more of almost a shore lunch type of fish fry, and it comes with the classic Wisconsin style, the marbled rye, that kind of is a classic scotty. That's why we call it the scotty fish fry.
Nothing like a
So,
scotty fish fry. Too
nothing
bad
like
you
a
can't have the, spotted cow beer on the side.
That's right.
They only sell that in Scotty.
They do. Which is, New Glarus, which is awesome. I
So
get it every
good, yeah.
time I go there. So I've got some flour. It has a little bit of Old Bay seasoning and salt in it.
Old Bay.
That's my dredge. Some egg that I add a little tiny bit of water to, just so it's not too thick. Then what I'm going to put this is just a really simple. Now these obviously cook much faster than these.
Right.
And one of the key with, this cod is that you don't put too much in the pan. So if you do, you're not going to get this nice crispy, you're going to get a yucky blown out mess.
Okay.
So make sure you have enough oil in the pan and don't cook too much at once. So when these do come out and are done, you can just set them on a cooling rack, a metal rack, and then when you're ready to go, so if you're making for 10 people already, whatever, take them then and put them in the oven at 350 and just kind of warm them up.
Keep them warm?
Yeah, just keep them warm.
Nice.
So this is a pretty durable fish. We're not cooking ahi tuna here or something medium rare searing
So
it.
flaky though. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's so flaky.
I can't wait.
It's not too fishy.
So-
Going back to the breading for the perch, is that a cracker breading or what is that exactly?
So this is actually just panko. So we take
just
panko, we buzz it up a little bit more just because that fish is more delicate,
Right.
smaller fish. And so we buzz it up with Old Bay.
Nice. Old
So
Bay
these
on
are
everything.
done.
Look at that. That's
All
so
right,
quick.
we'll come right out.
Those are beautiful.
And we'll move this guy over here.
So folks are coming. You guys are doing this just for the Lenten season, or
Yeah,
and it's
well,
only
we
Friday
always-
nights?
So no, it's every night of the week.
Oh, sweet.
And we always have fish and chips on our menu. This particular cod is on the menu all the time. And it's a pretty good deal. You get 3 pieces of fish for $23. Like I
Wait,
don't
like
think
this?
This size fish.
That's so much.
I don't think I could ever finish one of these. So it's a great dish to also share. All right, so we've got our oil. We'll just check the temp. We want to make sure that it's around 350, which we're
That's
right.
so important.
we're
John,
right
I know
at
you're
that
a big
temp.
deep fryer.
Yep.
You always say it's about the temperature of
It's-
the oil.
it's
I'm
about the
watching very carefully. I
about-
fry about 3 times a week.
Right. You what?
I fish all the time.
You do? Okay, yeah. So
I-
this would be great for like sunnies, whatever, like
Yeah.
smaller stuff like this. So these just go right into the oil, and these obviously don't take nearly as long. So one other thing that's important when your fish comes out of the fryer is to season it while it's hot. So this Malden sea salt is going to stick onto these crispy fish fillets.
I love
and
those sea salt
make
flakes.
them, yep, and just make sure that you get a nice little coating all the
salt
way
both
around.
sides,
Yep,
too,
and
yeah.
salt both sides, correct. There we go. And I like to hit mine with a little bit of lemon, so we got a
Look
little
at
bit
that
of
fancy
lemon wrap.
lemon and
I
that little
know.
thing to keep this. Is that for the
What?
seed catching?
Yeah, it's like we're at a
Genius.
seafood restaurant or something.
Wow, you guys figured it out.
What?
Wow.
I couldn't even speak. I was watching so intently.
Wow.
I was so interested. I was like, I don't want to mess this up. But I love the way that you focus on the oil. Because I've obviously, as an amateur cooker, learning, you cook it at 425, you get it burnt, and then the fish is undercooked.
Smoke alarms are
That
going
hap-
off.
Or
Right.
like you said earlier, something that I do a lot, or when I fail, is you put too much in there, and then they're soggy.
Correct.
And then
so
they're gross.
That's really important as well. So
Wow,
we've got
that
our
was like
fish.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Well,
wow.
Real fast.
these go super fast. So if you have a big group, you can turn these around pretty quickly.
Should I salt them?
Yeah, let's get after it.
What do you put on
Here,
the
I'm
side
gonna
of
go-
those? What's the side? What type-
The side?
Yeah.
Over here. So we've got coleslaw and tartar sauce. Our house coleslaw and tartar sauce, along with some Cajun fries as well.
Oh, my.
This is your tartar sauce? That
That's our
looks
tartar
good.
sauce,
It looks
yeah.
like there's
How do you
brown
make your
mustard
tartar
in there.
sauce?
Yeah. So what?
What is it? What is your homemade tartar sauce? Sorry.
So
Might as well ask.
it's chopped up pickles, of some aioli, and then lemon, some capers, a little bit of shallot, and that's it. It's pretty simple. And just make sure that
Simple,
you
sounds
got
fancy.
enough lemon in there.
I'm gonna cut this open to get it some
yeah.
cool
That.
cool
There
it
you go.
off so we can try it.
That is beautiful.
Remind folks, Smack Shack is located.
Several locations.
We
right?
have several locations. So these will be available at our Bloomington store over on 494 in France and at our North Loop store on Washington Avenue.
And as we were saying, you guys have, like, in my opinion, one of the best happy hours around.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so great.
Oh, yeah, our happy hours, and we just switched around some stuff on it. So we kind of get bored of our own food, and that's a big motivation, like just to keep changing,
Which
keep
is
doing
great.
new
I was
dishes.
just telling you how much I love the mussels, and you're like, well, we switched it up, but they're still on the menu.
They're still
Now I
on the
have to
menu.
try
So
'em.
now they're with the vodka sauce, that same sauce that's on the fidea over there. So come in and try the mussels, and our happy hour runs from 2 to 6, Monday through Friday.
I love that. And twin season's coming up. You guys must get
Twins,
so busy.
we do.
super
It's
busy.
yeah, we love the Twins when they're in town. Plus, they have so many games. It's
right,
awesome
it's
for us.
amazing.
Even on non-Twins game days, the North Loop location was always packed. There was always people, especially on a nice day. The patio there.
Yep, the
always
patio is
packed.
always
Open the
great.
garage doors.
And now we're doing a late night program in the North Loop as well. So we've got DJs and stuff on Friday, Saturday night. So that's a new thing for us, starting about a few weeks ago as well.
Okay, well, Chef Josh
Yeah.
Toma, thank you. We're going to let John do the weather. We're going to come back to this and I'll try it out. John, it smells
All right.
so good. Sorry you had to go outside.
I literally got caught running. That's all right. I saw the camera. I was like, oh, stop. Hey, I cannot wait to go in there. So if we could speed this up, that'd be great. Just kidding. Now we're gorgeous right now. Things are going to change. We're looking at what is going to be a large low pressure center. Now, if you're just joining the program, to watch that was such a beautiful thing they made there, just the fish. But if you're just joining, here's what you really need to know. Friday, anything before 6 p.m., you're fine. After 6 p.m., it gets dicey. You can see here at 6, severe weather going in Iowa. Now, we're going to be watching radar. I'm going to be glued to this tomorrow. There's probably going to be a tornado outbreak if supercells can get going here down in the St. Louis area. We will get the leftovers, but the key word there is leftovers. These will be on a weakening trend as they roll through the Twin Cities. That doesn't mean we can't have strong storms, especially down here underneath the warm front. So watch out for a few storms overnight into Saturday morning. Then we transition to the snow. Now, western Minnesota, you're not going to get thunderstorms in Alexandria. You will, however, get snow. And I think we could see areas, depending on how this matches up, we could get over 6 inches. Best chance for that right now, Fargo, Bemidji, and then up towards Baudette. Right now, that's the bullseye. Twin Cities kind of getting edged, right on the edge of both. We're just going to get nicked by both of them. You could see the severe threat is obvious in the red. This is a very large, moderate risk. I'm just going to tell you, this is big. And there might end up being a high risk, depending on how this sets up down there. So again, we're not anything near Missouri or Illinois. But we are still in the green, which is the marginal threat, which typically means thunderstorm chance. When you get into the yellow, this is an isolated severe threat, a few possible in Rochester and La Crosse. Again, the tornado threat is limited here in Minnesota, but still not out of the question for a small one to spin up in Rochester. Now, Saturday, there's going to be another outbreak. This one shifts to the southeast, and this again looks like a pretty high threat for severe weather. What about the snow? 6 to 8 inches possible. Ortonville, Moorhead, Alexandria, and Thief River Falls. Could it go higher? It's possible for some very isolated spots over 8. But here in the Twin Cities, we get everything. Like I said at the beginning, anything before 6 p.m., enjoy it. 71. Yeah, it'll be breezy and cloudy, but it will be pretty nice to be at 70 degrees. And then on Saturday, we drop to 48 in the morning. There's no high on Saturday. That's why the high and the low are the same, because 6 a.m. is your high, 6 a.m. is when we track the low, and it'll be dropping the entire day to the 20s Saturday afternoon.
All right, 35 northbound in Lakeville as you head toward the Burnsville split, looking much better now that that crash is cleared, that backup is clearing. Everywhere else across the metro should be pretty good for your commutes. Maybe 494 is a little slowing, but that's typical.
You guys were eating?
Yeah, sorry. We couldn't wait.
John.
It's rude to, the chef's right here. Yeah. All right, shout out to Chef Josh Toma from Smack Shack.
Looks amazing.
Come by anytime, all right?
Anytime. Thank you.
Love it. That's a wrap, John. Come get in here. Come
I
on,
can't.
buddy.
Well, there's just 5 seconds. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Oh.